Hi, my name is Varun and welcome to the Arpin Ben channel, and welcome back to our special series in trying to decode the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Now, as illuminating as the Bhagavad Gita is, there are a lot of common misconceptions that are addressed towards it. They say it is repetitive, blind belief, caste conscious, promotes violence, mocks disbelievers, only for the intellectuals. That's surprising. Central message is unclear and lacks relevance in modern times. Now, these 8 points are more often than not regarded as the common misconceptions of Bhagavad Gita. Now, these are people's opinion, and I'm not here to comment on people's opinion. Rather, I'm here to share an interesting analogy based on a story of a cave written by one of Greek's most renowned philosophers named Plato, whose theory in so many ways is going to help me address the common misconceptions of Bhagavad Gita. Now, the story of the cave commences with a group of people who are imprisoned in a dark cave, who haven't seen a life beyond the shallow walls of the cave, and that is where they have lived all their life. And the cavemen, see 3 things on a daily basis. That is the fellow cavemen, the fire at the back of the cave, and then the shadow projected on the walls of the cave, which are nothing but the moving objects of plants, animals, birds, and human beings outside the cave. Now, the people inside the cave worship these shadows as they think that the shadows are supreme, that there is nothing more left for man to attain other than these shadows. As the objects are moving forward and they talk, the shadows move inside and they perceive that the shadows are supreme. Now, they talk highly about the shadows, they talk passionately about it, they enthusiastically praise these shadows. In the meantime, one man, or one prisoner rather, tries to find a way out of the cave, and he succeeds. And upon reaching the surface of the cave, he is overwhelmed by this phenomenon called the sun. Now, after seeing the sun, he sees the sky, he sees the trees, he sees the plants, and now he has a little bit of a confusion within him. And most importantly, he is pleased to discover the real life forms of the shadowed objects that they had seen inside the cave. He sees birds with different colors, animals with different sizes, and human beings with attire. And now he has a confusion within him. He is shaken to his very core. He doesn't know what to do. On one hand, he is blinded by ignorance, rather was blinded by ignorance. On the other hand, he has seen the vision, he has seen the reality, he's seen the truth. And now he is in a dilemma of both, and also he has a guilty conscience that the fellow cavemen inside have been blinded by ignorance and live in a land of illusion. So he goes back into the cave. And upon going inside the cave, he sees his fellow cavemen and he asks them, do you know what a concept of a tree is? Do you know what a sun is? Do you know what is the power of a sun? He talks about it in an excited way, as that's the first time he's seen the sun. At first, the people mock him and laugh at him sarcastically, and that's one trait that we human beings generally have. We mock what we don't know. And that's exactly what those cavemen did. And at last, what happened was, when he asserted the point that the reality is different from the illusory world that we are living in, they really got offended, angry, and eventually plotted to kill him. Now, in this story, Plato tries to communicate 2 important messages, very important. On one side, he says that the people inside the cave are blinded by illusion. And on the other side, he says that the man who sees the truth has nothing left to see. Now, he also asserts another important point for the man who's seen the sun, When you see the sun, you don't come back into the cave and command that I have the vision of truth. No, you don't do that. Because if you do that, you are forcing the ignorant. And when you force ignorance, you will face the same fate as the dead caveman. So what Plato tries to assert here is, there is a way on how you approach your message to the ignorance. You tell them, you make the ignorance think, but never force them. That's all teaching is, according to Plato and majority of the other Greek philosophers. You make a person think about a subject, but never force them. And Plato also asserts another important point is that whether we like to believe it or not, we all start from that cave. It's not something we choose. Certainly I wouldn't, neither would you, but that's where we begin. And I think everybody would be able to agree with this, with what I'm saying. Neither of us want to stay in that dark wall cave. And Plato gives us a solution for that. He says the way out of the cave is philosophy. And that philosophy is exactly what Bhagavad Gita is trying to make you think. It is not trying to teach you, it's trying to make you think. And after you read it, the central message of Bhagavad Gita is nothing but bridging the gap between illusion and reality. Now, always remember guys, it will always lead the way. All you have to do is free your mind. And that's the wrap for episode number 2. And until the next episode, goodbye.